But here we are. We're inside of the game. The gates are going to be going down here momentarily. Haas, why don't you introduce the teams?
On the left-hand side, the team that are currently leading this series 2-0, we have Vivid with Hertigde on ETC, Hospital playing the very well predicted Illidan, if I do say so myself.
Dude, you nailed it. That European perspective, ladies and gentlemen.
Coming in strong, Blue Freeze on the Rhaegar, Let Go My Leghorn, Tassadar, All-Stars on the Nazebo, and it looks like they're setting up for a strat I very much like, which is the 4-man push mid and then the rotation to bot, mid bot, and then cap that bot shrine.
And that's Tassadar's so good at that, where he can just push the lane down, you know, keep his lane alive using shields. It's hard to gank him. We've talked about that before, and he can so easily, readily rotate to bottom lane and then throw a storm down there and help push. So I really like the draft from Vivid Gaming. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite drafts I've seen in quite some time because there's just so much going on, so much synergy, and it works. If they play it right, it's going to work so well. But apparently bottom lane is being completely ignored right now, Haas. It's a 4v4 in mid lane.
And it's going to be the team we haven't actually introduced yet, which is APM
right.
getting down there to the bottom, and we actually see Mr. Savage on the Tigers, Hao Nguyen on Tyrande, Vu on the Malfurion, Sage on the Valor, and in the top lane we have Meadowtown on the Muradin, who probably has an unfavorable matchup there because ETC is such a lane bully.
He really is, man. He's able to amplify the attack speed with the creep. He can just, I mean, he has such good sustain with his guitar solo or E, or not guitar solo, yeah, guitar solo E.
Yeah.
And it's just, he's one of a very good solo laner. Similar to the old Arthas, I feel like. He had such, Arthas, before he got nerfed, was a very, very good sustain as well.
Yep. With
obviously his heals from Death Coil and whatnot and good lane push. But the shrines are here. That's a very early shrine, good lord. But this bottom lane, what we normally see, it's the 3v3, and they're actually keeping Tassadar on bottom. They're not putting Tassadar in mid, which is what we normally see. They're actually putting Illidan mid. Why do you think that is, Haas?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I feel like Illidan's going to get bullied out of this mid lane by the Valor.
Yeah,
Tassadar
definitely
would have been a lot safer pick. Tassadar doesn't lose many 1v1 matchups early on. You can guarantee to put Tassadar in a lane, 1 versus 1, he's going to push it, he's going to win it. And if you had Illidan down here alongside the Rhaegar, it just gives him so much sustain. He can jump on the Tyrande who doesn't have escapes, he can jump on the Malfurion again, only going to get snared up. So I'm not too sure about this one, but it's how they want to play it. They've actually been able to grab this shrine now. Vu is just above half HP, but Nazebo not looking too great for the mana.
Yep, just both of these teams fighting over this bottom shrine. Vivid has had both the shrines for quite some time, but the Sage on that Demon Hunter, Vala, has just been doing work and keeping that lane pushing. However, he needs to be careful. Vault is down. Are the body blocks going to be good enough? No, they're not. But they are going to be able to make Sage hit the showers, go to the fountain, heal up. Now it's on cooldown, though. Might have been a little bit of an overextension from ETC. There is the guitar solo, but Sage is in hot pursuit here. Need for speed. There's the... No, it's not enough. Multi-shot, not enough. And now maybe a turnaround from Hospital. No, man, these guys really want to fight. Round 1 early on, we're already seeing some big blows, but no one getting knocked down quite yet. Meanwhile, bottom lane looks like just a 3v2, though... Vivid has been able to mitigate a lot of the damage onto the towers. The towers are still pretty healthy, still have quite a bit of ammo, so they're doing good work there. And the mid lane is just, there's so much rotation going on here, Haas, from both teams. This is incredible.
This is one of the reasons why Dragonshire looks on the surface a very easy map to play, but once you get into it and play it at a high level, it's all about rotations, especially past that level 16, level 20 mark. Also, another reason why I'm not entirely sure about this Tassadar being bot lane, Illidan can't shove this lane out. If they had Tassadar mid, they had a Dragon Knight.
Right.
Because Illidan's sitting under his tower, he cannot get anywhere near that nice dragon statue to have any chance of capping it. And now they're playing their 2 ranged assassins in this mid lane. It means that Illidan is just going to get bullied even more.
I mean, yeah, look at these towers, man. That top tier 1 mid tower is going to be going down here from the multi-shot. So now about that 400 experience going their way. Not going to translate into too much. But, I mean, little by little, Vivid is already showing themselves to be in a very good position in the mid-game. Top lane, it looks like the Muradin ETC is just a battle of hitting each other with spoons right now. And it looks like Muradin is winning. Though I don't know the cooldown. ETC's Fountain is on cooldown. I believe Muradin's is as well. So both of those guys aren't going anywhere anytime soon unless there's some sort of aggressive rotation up their bottom lane. We just see Tassadar Rhaegar keeping the lane pushed in. Once again, the bottom lane, neither of these towers have taken much much damage, if any, at all, which is interesting because usually we see so much emphasis in the bottom lane. Speaking of which, there is a rotation from Sage coming here. Lunar Flare on the mark. Was the shield into the chain heal enough? Yes. The shield into the healing totem, double healing totem. Blue Freeze is still turning around. He's got to get out of there, man. Hit the showers, hit the fountain. He's going to do that. They're going to come back, and bottom lane now has Siege Workers pushing. Meanwhile, top lane...
You were talking about that rotation.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So they did get that first blood. Don't know if they're going to be able to turn that into anything, though. Both of these teams, as far as experience goes, are neck and neck.
Yeah, and down in this bot lane, that's why Illidan's pretty big threat on this map as well. He just soloed that Merc camp at level 8, meaning that they've had these Siege Giants down here. They haven't been able to capitalize on it though, because Blue Freeze was forced out to tap. He had to wait a little bit before he had too much of an effect down here. And level 7 talents while we're here, pretty standard across the board. This time the Nazebo of Vivid not making the same mistake that APM did in the Sky Temple match. He's gone for the extra damage here with the Gidbin rather than the Merc Lord, as Illidan getting some damage down on Sarande forces the healing ward out. That's a 60-minute cooldown here, so
yeah,
it's kind of worth, but maybe not because of the damage coming down onto Tasta here. He has to fall back from this one.
Top lane, Odin and Avatar being popped. ETC and All-Stars are going to go ahead and back themselves out of there. So they just forced 2 really big cooldowns. They were able to get the Shrine, but they're not going for a Dragon as no one is mid. Yeah, they forced really two long cooldowns in Avatar and Odin. That's a pretty big deal. I don't know if Actions per Minute are going to be able to jump on the advantage that they have, knowing that they have those 2 big heroics down, rather. They don't have to face those heroics anytime soon. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. And, I mean, Sage is on the Dragon Knight, but All-Stars is going to be able to keep him off of that pretty much indefinitely. There is a rotation from Murden come down here, though Tassadar in the bottom lane is rotating to get the Shrine. Meanwhile, mid lane, All-Stars, he's going to be going down. Strafe forced out. They got a kill, but it's not, again, I feel like using Strafe for a kill this early on in the game, and it really, I don't know if that was worth it, just for a kill and a Witch Doctor.
Down bottom, though, Starfall and Tranquility being used.
Oh, my lord.
A little bit overzealous there. Just to hold a Shrine, I think that was the main objective there. But they did lose the Shrine. They were 2 versus 3. And in mid lane now, Blue Freeze getting caught up. There's no wall for him to retreat behind. Forces to tap the good old fountain, get some nutrients going. And this bot Shrine is going to be taken back by Vu, as he's looking to duel the Tassadar. He's got support in the form of an angry Illidan, looking to recap this one. And they could dive now onto Tyrande or Malfurion, but they're going to play this one safe. They've got the support of Rhaegar. 3 versus 2. APM don't really want to challenge this.
Both of these teams, I mean, it seems like it's been somewhat of a passive game. I mean, with so much rotation constantly from both these teams. Only 1 kill on either side. Usually when you see this much aggressive rotation, especially on Dragon Schreier, you see a little bit more kills. I mean, we're almost to level 13 here, level 12 at 7.5 minutes. And it's just not much, not much as far as kills has really happened. We haven't seen a Dragon yet. A lot of back and forth action. Only 1 mercenary camp has been taken. Level 13 is almost here for Vivid. Their cooldowns are all going to be up now because Actions per Minute were able to force so many, I would say, misuses of heroics, but really didn't jump on any window of opportunity that they had with those heroics being down. Oh, good Lunar Flare down here in bottom lane, but it was right underneath the safety of the gate. So they're going to be able to mitigate that completely and get back, heal themselves up.
And this is where Vivid now need to look to grab some XP back here. ETC taken stage dive again here, so he's just able to sit in this top lane, soak all the XP. Illidan doing the hard camp. He saw that all 5 members from APM were in that bot lane. 2 of them now rotated towards mid, so he took the opportunity to take this hard camp away. That's going to go and help ETC apply pressure in the top lane, meaning that someone has to go and deal with him, so that then the rest of his team, they can engage a 4v4 fight, and then he can jump in to assist. It's Valor who's gone up. So if Vivid were to engage a fight now, it would be super awesome for them.
And it looks like that's kind of what they're doing. There's only 3 here from them. Though there's a stage out. That's what you're talking about. They're going in there. There is the Starfall on top of them. There goes the Ravenous Spirit. Tyron, you are going to go down there. Vu has Tranquility up, and as you said, Tranquility's so good at dealing with that Ravenous Spirit, doing work. Hurt on the ETC. He is hurting all right. And the Ancestral Healing way too late. He's just going to go down. Now Ancestral Healing is on cooldown for another 10 seconds. It's never good when you see an Archon running away. and that is a 1-for-1 exchange, an even exchange. A lot of cooldowns being forced here, but don't forget, this is actually a 4v5 right now. Valla is top lane soaking. She's also getting that shrine. This is going to be possibly an opportunity to see our first Dragon Knight here, Haas, if they're able to capitalize on this.
Yeah, and that was the split focus I was talking about, though. Muradin came in, and he opted to go for the front line, including the Illidan and the ETC, rather than stopping the Nazebo ult. It didn't work out too great. This team comp doesn't spike too well around this level. It's level 20 where this team comp becomes super strong. So long as they get there safely, we might see the first Dragon Knight of the game here. But it's going to be a 5v5 stop. ETC going in, using that power slide, stopping Sage there. And now the ult from... Wow, the Ancestral Healing coming down. ETC dropped very low, getting chased out now by Tychus and Muradin. Muradin leaping in. Has to fall back from that one, but now it's going to be a safe Dragon Knight from Valla.
Yep, they're going to get their Dragon Knight. First Dragon Knight right here at the 10-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. So this isn't one of those little pipsqueak Dragon Knights we see at like the 4 or 5 minute mark. It looks like they have their eye on this fort mid lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Illidan Hospital is soaking up that experience. Now rotating up here. Metamorphosis is up, Stage Dive is up, and Ravenous Spirit is up. Those are big cooldowns for them to go. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. There's the Stage Dive onto 4. There's a Starfall, though, trying to zone them out. Tranquility being used. Meadowtown everyone is still so healthy with that Tranquility on the side of Vivid. No one going down yet. Sage on the Dragon Knight is trying to chop people away with the axe. There is a Archon having to use defensively. That's never a good thing. It really hasn't been utilized that much. It's going to get punted away. That's 3 points going the way of Vivid, or I'm sorry, with actions per minute. A lot of cooldowns being used, a lot of a great initiation from Vivid, no one going down there. But so far, this Dragon Knight, he's only really gotten a fort. He still has 15 seconds. Looks like he's going to push up this top lane, and meanwhile, they're going to rotate bottom lane and maybe try to get an objective elsewhere on the map.
I always find it surprising when teams decide to fight against a Dragon Knight. Yes, it's Valor in there, so they lose a lot of damage, and of course that's strafe. But even so, we saw the Nazebo ult interrupted straight away by the kick of the Dragon Knight, and the Flame Breath, the auto attacks hit so hard.
Yeah.
It was surprising. Luckily, there were no casualties in that fight. But this must give a mental boost to Vivid. They can take a fight against the Dragon Knight and not lose anyone.
Yeah. Imagine if that Dragon Knight was in the play and that Ravenous Spirit was full duration. Yeah. That absolutely would have gone the way of Vivid. They've been playing so well, but they are down on experience, though. I mean, it feels like Vivid should be a little bit more ahead. Or I'm sorry, I am mixed it up there. Yeah, I feel like Vivid. Yeah, okay. Sorry, apparently I'm a little colorblind right there. I feel like Vivid should have a little bit more of a lead than they have. I mean, again, it's 2-2 kills. It's just I feel like this game is much more even than it feels like it should be. Yeah. But it's a good thing because actions per minute are playing better than they have these previous 2 games. They're in a good position. They're a level ahead, and they want to be ahead, as you mentioned. Going into the late game, they want to be ahead because Vivid hit such a huge power spike at level 20. They need to get damage done prior to them hitting level 20 to get themselves a win condition. Bruiser Camp being picked up here bottom lane. That's not a big deal. That's going to get cleaned up. Both these teams are in prime position to initiate. ETC is split pushing and soaking mid lane, so we're going to see initiation here more than likely coming up with the Stage Dive, unless they want to back off here.
Yeah, and this 16 talent is where this composition starts to ramp up. Stone Skin on ETC makes him a lot more tankier. The Blood for Blood on Illidan means that he's going to stick to that Valor, that Tychus, even the Tyrande if needed, a lot. It's going to stick to him a lot better. The Totem from Rhaegar ensures that. It just helps Illidan out. The Dimensional Shift, yeah, not exactly a big thing there for Tasta, just means that he survives a little bit more. And of course, you're going to take increased damage from Nazebo any day. But the side of APM, they've got this as well. They've got the Blood for Blood to help Vala peel herself away from the Illidan. The Sentinel being upgraded to help out. And on a map like this, where rotations are key, that is going to help a lot. Muradin with the Imposing Presence going to deny the attack speed there of the Illidan, and of course the Tasta as well. People think that he does... people seem to disregard the fact that he does auto attacks as well, but when you're in that Archon form, it's going to slow his DPS down, especially to counteract the ETC as well, the attack speed buff that he gives. And Malfurion is just going to be able to heal and snare a lot quicker than usual with that hardened focus. ETC split pushing the top lane, doing what he does best, looking to get the last tower down here and then start to do damage on the fort.
Yeah, Het has been playing so well. I talked to Het how to say the name. He says just call him Het. I'm like,
okay.
Or that's what he said. So we'll just call him Het from now on. At least until he says he corrects us on the phonetic pronunciation of his name. But he has been doing so well, soaking in other lanes, knowing that he has stage dive up, and he's soaking the other lanes. I feel like if he wasn't playing so effectively with his split pushing and soaking in multiple lanes, and while his team accomplishes something else other places on the map, that this experience discrepancy would be much, much bigger. So credit to him. They're only a level behind, but Haas, at this stage of the game, being a level behind is a substantial, numerically, a substantial amount of experience. And APM, they're getting a little confident here. They're going to trade. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of a base trade situation going in here. And who is ahead right now? Actions per minute is already on top of the keep. Nope. Yeah. Okay. So Vivid Gaming, they know they have to defend. They can't push.
Yeah.
But I think more than likely this keep is going to be going down here. I'm looking for a stage dive. ETC's looking for a stage dive.
This is a great place. There it is on the bridge.
There.
Boom.
There. The suicide bridge. The Starfall is down, but there is the Metamorphosis as well,
Wow.
followed by the Ravenous Spirit. Goodbye, Vala. You're going to be going down. Metotimes use the Avatar, but he's just walking around like a creep right now, not doing much of anything. Mr. Savage is having to run away in the Odin. Don't forget, that Odin's HP bar is his life. If that reaches 0, he dies. It's no longer a reset, so they got to be careful about that. Meadowtown's low hospital ends up going down. A good stun took him out, so a 1-for-1 exchange. Right now, actions per minute, I would say they'll take that trade any day of the week. A 1-for-1 exchange, and they got the keep in the top lane. They're looking good right now. They're about to hit level 20. This might be the turnaround where actions per minute finally get themselves a game against Vivid right now, Haas. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely so. Rhaegar, though, wasn't there for that fight. He wasn't able to get the Ancestral Healing down sooner. But, yes, Vala got absolutely demolished in that one. But Muradin going ham, using the Avatar form, just auto-attacking the Nazebo once to stop that Ravenous Spirit was certainly key. If you get a Ravenous Spirit off on that bridge area, combined with the slow from stage dive, it is a ton of damage in such a small space. So luckily they were able to get rid of that one early on.
Yeah.
Gonna see the Battle of the Siege Camps yet again here. Blue side gonna win this one. And actions per minute, they've gained themselves some confidence. They should get level 20 off of this wave. They're going to get this bottom shrine as well. ETC has to go top as quickly as possible to try and stop this Dragon Knight being taken.
This is a sticky situation for Vivid right now because level 20 is pretty much here for actions per minute. They're looking for, there it is. So now they have a huge advantage. Let go my Hegho. Let go my Legho is going to get caught up, but Dimensional Shift away. And now we have a 17-minute Dragon, as well as a huge power spike with level 20. They got their eye on the prize in mid keep. They're gonna knock on the door on these tier 2 towers. They're more than likely dead to rights. Is Vivid gonna be able to have a strong defense here? Because if they overstep their boundaries and overextend or don't initiate immaculately, they could just outright lose the game right here with this Dragon Knight Haas. They are treading on thin ice. Odin being used. So actions per minute, no, they are at a huge advantage. But that Odin being used, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pretty long cooldown, so they got to be careful with it. Hurt, hit, het, hoot. ETC about to hike the ball, apparently, being the quarterback, just roaming around there, looking for a power slide in there. Keeps going to go down, though. And is this the retreat for actions per minute? Are they going to keep going here? How are they feeling right now? I mean, they're feeling confident, but they don't want to throw this game. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is match point. If they lose this game, they are out of the Heroes Premier League qualifier. Okay, so they're going to go down here, push bottom lane. They're not going to get too over-aggressive. But once again, this is a huge, huge advantage for actions per minute right now, Haas.
Yep, definitely. So Illidan forced to defend this top lane right now. So he is split from his team, and actions per minute, they have this whole 1-level lead. They're going to go take these bottom Merc camps, push in with the hard camp, and with Illidan being so split from the team, I feel like it should be ETC in that top lane right now, so that he has his ultimate on cooldown, off cooldown, sorry, able to join his team at any moment. And it looks like actions per minute just want to take all the hard camps they can, but they're not going to be able to take the side of Vivid as they're grabbing their own.
So, is this the moment where Vivid can turn this around?
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely on the back foot right now, Haas. They're down the middle keep, they're down the top keep, and I mean, we're in that late game situation on Dragonshire where a Dragon Knight can literally just like go steal your core, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, but they now have that huge power spike. You mentioned with this draft, this composition, they're playing for the late game. Did APM do enough damage before they hit that level 20 power spike to secure themselves a win? We're going to see here as the Bruiser camps are pushing down top lane. It looks like Vivid are going to rotate down here to get the Siege Ogres, but they got to be careful here because APM is already walking in their base. and they got to get in position to defend, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But yeah, do you think Actions Per Minute has done enough damage to mitigate the power spike at level 20 that Vivid has?
I want to say yes here. There's only one keep remaining here for Vivid Gaming. They've got camps and catapults pushing onto their core now. Shrines are up in 28 seconds. They need to fight. And fighting in one of the shrines, preferably bot, would suit Vivid a lot better because Nazebo can sit down south where the night camp usually would be and just channel his ultimate. Level 20, that ultimate increases the damage by 50%.
Oh, it's absurd.
Combine that with a slow from Illidan, a slow from ETC. He can now channel that so quickly, land so quickly. The damage from that itself is increased. And it looks like they want to fight here.
Yeah, this dragon, this shrine at the bottom, looks like they want to contend over it. Level 20 is here for both teams, so both of these teams have hit the peak of their talents, of their power. And as we mentioned, the late game power that Vivid has is rather self-evident, and we're going to see it applied here. As they have, I mean, they can't delay much longer. I mean, top lane's pushing in up here, ladies and gentlemen, on top of the core. Mid lane isn't too far from being pushed in. I mean, right now, I would say that Actions Per Minute is
a lot of damage going down on him.
Yep, the initiation onto him. There is the stage dive into a metamorphosis. The Ravenous Spirit, Mr. Savage, is still alive somehow. He's shrink raid. There, he finally goes down after so much being used on him. The Starfall really isn't doing that much. Oh no, the Tyron is going to go down too. That's a 2 for nil exchange. This is looking pretty damn good for Vivid here. Hospital's low, but he doesn't care. Meadowtown, he doesn't have anything up. He's going to go down. Oh my lord, that is the power spike we were talking about. That is the moment that Vivid was looking for. They got to back up though, because there are creep on top of their core. If they are able to capitalize on this and get themselves a dragon, they're gonna push down quite a bit of APM's buildings here, Haas.
That was exactly the fight I was talking about. Nazebo positioned perfectly, so far away from the rest of his team. He was down by the brush. The fight was more or less towards the top side of that bottom lane, and the ETC, the Metamorphosis, hit 4 people. The ETC stage dive, that slowed probably 3, maybe even 4. It was just a perfect fight from Vivid Gaming there, or Vivid. And they're just going to hammer down this bottom keep to ensure that catapults start spawning here. And it is at that stage where you can just right-click with the Dragon Knight and just chop these buildings down. And with 5 members alive, they could even look to fight again here. The cooldowns, Ancestral Healing is up, Metamorphosis is up, Ravenous Spirit is up. What else is coming up in? We got Stage Dive in 15 seconds, Archon in 15 seconds. This is an opening where Vivid can take another fight and win it again here.
With that being said, though, I definitely feel that Actions Per Minute has the tools available to them to have to win themselves a team fight. And I mean, if that team fight went Actions Per Minute way, they just would have outright won the game because of how far pushed in all the lanes are in mid and top lane. While Vivid didn't have that going for them because they were at such a disadvantage going into level 20 with their keeps being down, they weren't able to win outright with that. Even with the Dragon Knight, they weren't able to. They were able to get a keep. Oh, Hospital. Okay, Metamorphosis up. This might be a turnaround. Tranquility being used. Stage dive only onto 2. Ravenous Spirit is hitting the Malfurion, but it didn't really do much. It got interrupted. Meadowtown tossed himself in there and punched Witch Doctor in the face, interrupting that Spirit. This is looking good. No, Tygus is going to go down, though. The turnaround from Vivid. That power spike at level 20 is showing itself here, Haas. Meadowtown's still alive, though. Lego Mahego's got to be careful. He's going to get healed up through his Dimensional Shift talent, though. Wow. That was APM. Even though that was a 1 for 0 exchange, that could have gone much worse for them. They played that team fight better than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, I completely agree. There was good peel for Tychus there to help him get away from the Illidan. Shields came down, the Storm Shield from Malfurion, the heals came down onto him as well. I haven't seen too much of the Shrink Ray being used from Malfurion though.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That needs to be either going down on the Nazebo if you can get to him before he channels it, or it needs to go down onto the Illidan, preferably the latter there. But we can see that the shield was getting tickled. Luckily, the core of Vivid hasn't lost any HP just yet.
Right. No hull damage, as they would say in Star Trek.
Sure. But, yeah.
Come on, start. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Business as usual.
Yeah. So the rewinds, the double stuns coming out from Tyrande, we haven't really seen too much from that either. I'm a little bit unsure why you could either go for the global starfall with the increased damage, or does Tyrande get Storm Shield? I want to say Tyrande gets Storm Shield.
I'm pretty sure she does, but I'm not 100%. I used to play her all the time, but I don't quite remember. But I forgot that Tyrande gets rewind at level 20, so now she has those double lunar flares, which have such long. I mean, they're going to be fairly easy to land with the range and the AoE that they have. And that's going to be, I actually feel like that's actually a pretty good tool to deal with Illidan. Like I said, but he has to have that follow-up stun in order to land that. Because as an Illidan, it's so easy. As long as you have decent reaction times, it's so easy to dodge it with either Q or a W.
Oh,
man.
Turn.
Going in there with the stage dive into the backline. Meadowtown pop in his avatar. Ravenous Spirit is not been used yet. There is the Ravenous Spirit. Can Meadowtown get a turn interrupted? No, he can't. I'm sorry, Ravenous Spirit was not used. My mistake here.
Wow,
now it's being used. This is the moment they were looking for. Everyone is so low on the side of actions per minute. Tranquility is not doing enough. They can barely keep him, though. Oh my, actually, Tranquility is doing enough. Disregard that. Illidan actually went down. A little bit of an overextension from Vivid there. Now they're down their Illidan. Cooldown's being used all over the place. Ancestral Healing is still up. I don't know why Ancestral Healing wasn't used early onto him. Maybe a little bit of an overextension. Could this be a turnaround, though? This team fight back and forth like a pendulum. Meadowtown doesn't have Avatar. He does have Dwarf Toss, though. He's going to get out of there. Mr. Savage is solo. There's Ancestral Healing. Not the most effective one. Soggy coming in. He is going to bring the pain with the multi-shot. Het doesn't care. I'm an ATC. He's going to play that guitar. He is going to be Eddie Van Halen. But oh no, Eddie Van Halen might overdose and go down. He is going to go down. So that is too much of an overextension from Vivid Gaming. This team fight, my God.
Strafe up again because of battle momentum. Going to be zoning Tassadar away. Oh, wow. That team fight was so back and forth, back and forth. Woo. It was like watching Andy Murray playing a tennis match against the famous Novak Djokovic.
The tennis references, ladies and gentlemen.
British tennis. Getting up in here. But
European perspective being brought to you by Haas, ladies and gentlemen, here at the North America qualifier for Heroes Premier League. Oh my Lord, that was crazy. I didn't know. As an asthmatic, I didn't know I could talk that much without taking a breath. That's okay though.
But the Dragon Knight, is this going to be right click to win? It should be, in theory, the right click to win here. But they're going to try their best. The Healing Totem going to be helping All-Stars up here on the Nazebo. They do have everything but an ETC at their disposal. ETC, though, as soon as he spawns, he is getting in this fight. All-Stars dropping so low. Ancestral Healing coming out on him. Metamorphosis in the backline. He's going to try and stick to the Tychus now. The Strafe being used. Not really hitting much. The Archon out. Ravenous Spirit being used. There's nothing to interrupt it just yet. Valor can't interrupt it with auto attacks. There's the Lunar Flare. ETC now stage diving in. Lego My Hego goes down. ETC and Illidan doing their best to frontline here. Meadowtown dropping to about 40%, getting healed back up, though, and this could be the game. 3 members now for 5 versus 2. Is this going to be APM's game? It looks like it. Catapult and angry heroes coming down onto this core. Wow, this game. I really like the composition from Vivid, but APM are showing they're not down and out just yet. And the core is going to fall.
Yes, so well played by Actions Per Minute. They did exactly what they needed to do. They got that early game damage done onto the keeps in the top lane and the mid lane, exactly what you were talking about, because the late game power spike that Vivid had was so strong that they had to do something. Mid early game damage had to be done. That's exactly what they did. When Vivid game hit level 20, they were able to get a rather good trade and a team fight where they were able to finally push into the other side of Actions Per Minute's map, but because they themselves weren't able to really get much accomplished as far as pushing goes, that they had a late game Dragon Knight. They had the big power spike at level 20. After the team fight, though, it didn't really translate into much because they had all those towers and buildings to go through. They got a bottom keep, but that wasn't enough. And the damage that Actions Per Minute did to open up that situation just kept them into the late game there. Opened up that window of opportunity to keep the momentum going. That one team fight just went back and forth, back and forth. What a hell of a game there, Hawk.